My name is Rory Kaye, and I am the founder of Made by God Group. And Made by God Group consists of a whole lot of different products that are beginning with Made by God coffee. And I want to tell you the story of how we got started and why we started our company. So, first, the story of how we got started. So I was in Peru, and the last 40 years of my life, I've been a preacher. I've been traveling around the world giving the good news to people and teaching from the Bible. And while I was in Peru, I had the privilege to give the blessing of God to the whole country. I'm Jewish, and from my background as a descendant of Aaron, the older brother of Moses, I'm what's called a Kohen or priest descendant. And so it's very usual that I'm giving the blessing. Now, when I give the blessing to people, it's like this: May the Lord bless you. May He keep you. May He make His face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may your face also shine with His presence and His peace. And when I was giving this blessing in Peru, I was allowed to do it on television, national television. Just 2 days later, I met a whole bunch of governors from different regions of Peru and the regional president. And so they just happened to come into a restaurant where I was. And several of them recognized me from having given the blessing on live TV 2 days before. And they asked me for a blessing, and they wanted to talk. And the story goes like this. The next day after that, I had the opportunity to go to a place called Machu Picchu. And when I went to Machu Picchu to take some time just for myself to do something fun, which I don't usually do so often, something wonderful happened on the train ride up to Machu Picchu. And that was that God spoke to me again. Now, it's not that I only hear from Him every few months, but I want to tell you the highlights that have to do with this company Made by God. Because as I was on the train, on the steam train up to Machu Picchu, I heard so clearly inside of me, as I was looking at all the beautiful green, lush scenery around me, Made by God, Made by God. It was echoing in my mind, to my heart, and I start to realize this is actually a company that we should start of Made by God products, everything organic. And so our slogan is always organic and chemical free. So we don't do anything with chemicals, which is so much better for your health. And I have discovered that organic products don't have to cost more than regular products. You know, we don't have to spend the money on the chemicals. What we have to spend the money on is the extra quality control and getting whatever the product is quickly to our customers so that we don't need preservatives. And actually, the more quickly you have food right from the farm, the healthier it is for you as well. So we started this Made by God company just in 2020, and we are registered both as a nonprofit organization in the United States for distributing 80% of our profit, and we are registered in Israel as a regular corporation for being able to pay back people who have helped with investing for the company, and also I take 10% to my own family. So that's the company. And Made by God is really organic everything. We start with coffee, but now we also have stevia, which is sugar replacement. It's much healthier for you. Totally natural, totally organic. We have more than 20 different products from Israel that are so healthy for people. Ashwagandha, we have aloe vera, we have many, many products. And then facial products for both men and women, for moisturizer, for serum, for helping you with your skin if you have any skin problems. We're trying to have, in the end, 80 different products and solutions. Right now we're up to 15, but we will keep increasing that. And the goal are really fourfold. First of all, we want to have the best quality organic products in the world. And I found out that when you have great quality organic products, everything tastes better because it doesn't have the mix of chemicals. And there's so much I could tell about this, but just for instance, with our coffee, did you know that 98% of coffee around the world is roasted in hot air that's heated by petroleum byproducts? That is so yucky and unnecessary and crazy because it leaves behind traces on all the coffee beans of something called acrylamides, which are actually neurotoxins. That's just crazy. It's not necessary. What we do instead is we roast the coffee cherries, the seeds of the cherries, until they become coffee beans in infrared light, just like an infrared sauna or the infrared light when you go outside. You know, people wonder, what's the healthy light? That's infrared. So on the rainbow scale, it's just next to the red. What's the unhealthy light? The ultraviolet light on the other end of the color spectrum. You also don't see ultraviolet light, but it's damaging to your skin. Infrared is healthy for you. So we roast the coffee in infrared light. This means we have no acidity in the coffee at all, no bitterness at all, because it's different chemical reactions that happen when you're able to use infrared light. Well, that's just one aspect. Did you know, and actually I want to discuss with you just for a minute, people say coffee is bad for you, coffee is good for you. What's the truth? Well, let's look at that. Did you know that 98% of the coffee is roasted, as I said, in hot air heated by petroleum byproducts? That's bad for you. But there's 2% that's roasted in infrared light. That's good for you. But we have another aspect to consider. What about the environment? Well, 90% of coffee is treated with either wet processing or dry processing. And let me just go right to the point that wet processing, which is the more common, it takes about 60% of all the coffee in the world. You remove the fruit and the pulp around the seeds with using lots of water. On the average, 40 liters per kilo, which is about 5 gallons per pound of coffee. That's just crazy because that water becomes polluted and wasted. Now, when you consider the whole planet, the wet processing of coffee wastes billions of gallons of water, fresh drinking water, every year. That's just not sustainable and not necessary. We discovered you can use infrared light to warm and heat the seeds on the inside and the fruit around it to be able to separate them. And you just come up with these perfect seeds that then we put in for roasting, and you don't waste even one drop of water. So there is new technology available in the world today, and I'm so thankful to God that He gave me some of these ideas together with a friend of mine in Peru who is a professor, Rory Kaye. Together we're patenting these solutions that will not only help with roasting coffee, but drying and roasting salmon, drying and roasting cocoa, drying and roasting all different kinds of nuts. Anything that needs to be roasted, we can do it in a more healthy way. And some of our products are not roasted, but again, we are going for having the highest quality organic products, the highest quality control of protocol, so we make sure that you're getting the best possible products. We want to make it as affordable as possible, and of course 80 to 90% is going to charity.